Okay, so just to talk about how this template came about, what happened with me with Fronto, which is I think what happens to quite a lot of people, is I started to have so many resources and they wasn't really structured in any way. They was in folders, but then you can have folders on SharePoint or on your network. It doesn't really do anything differently. So I had all of these resources that I'd spent hours and hours and hours creating, and I needed to come up with a template and a structure that would knit it together, not only to make my life easier, but also to actually help the pupils. And basically what you see in front of you, this template with the learning ladder, is what I came up with, and it works really, really well for me and for the students on different levels. One level is that it means that people can find stuff quite easily because they can just go to the learning ladder template that matches their need, but also because it clearly defines the lesson objective, the topic, the keywords, the online course, and the assessment. And these sort of columns, they didn't start off like that. That sort of evolved over a period of time. So although this doesn't look amazing, what it does do is it actually does quite a lot in terms of holding everything together. The other thing also that I decided upon is I had some online content, and I wanted to structure it in a way that not only was it being used to actually help the students learn, but also I was going to ask them to get involved in the assessment process, and in a second I'll talk you through that. Okay, if we just go, say, to start with, to the bottom rung of the ladder here, which is the topic is understand the standard form convention. To be able to use the standard form convention is the lesson objective. It's a grade D question. We can argue about whether the grades are spot on, etc., etc., but it's to give the student the feeling that they're going up the ladder. It's progression, etc. Keywords, and then online course. And if you click on the online course, what will happen is that a separate course will actually load up here. Okay, I'll just put that in the window so you can see it all. And this course has been prepared in a product outside of Fronto and then imported into the course tool using a SCORM package. It's really, really useful to have been able to do this, because I found Fronto's test tool quite limiting at times, and this is the way that I found to get around that problem. It takes a little while to load up. Once it's been exported to Fronto, it's on Fronto's servers. It's down to them how quickly it runs, basically. But here, what you can see, the standard form convention, when I click on that down, a video clip will come up describing what the standard form convention is, and straight afterwards, unlike Maths Watch and other things like that, straight afterwards you have some online content specifically designed around that lesson objective. And this is where I think it's really, really useful. Again, it will take a little while to load up, because once it's onto Fronto servers, it just takes a little while to load up, but it also depends on the internet connection, obviously, but it will work within a reasonable time frame. And here we have a specific exercise type, connect point exercise question. That one isn't in standard form, so I'm going to connect that to there. Okay, I'll just scroll up here so we keep it in the screen window. Non-standard form, that one is, that one isn't, that one is, and there's one more down the bottom, I think, yeah, and that one isn't. The other thing this will do, which is really, really good, is it will give instant feedback. So if I click on the correct down there, they all go green, meaning that the student knows that they've got them right. The thing that's really, really useful about this is when the student presses save and close, it takes a few minutes, and give it a few seconds to update, that mark will automatically be translated into the portfolio tool. So there is actually zero marking for the student in that case. And here we see the end page. We're now safe to actually close that window, and that means we can now navigate away from there. I'm going to go back to the front page, and I'm actually going to show you what happens. So I've had some students this year, they're basically CD borderline students. I've been having some little groups withdrawn, and I've been using some of this material with them. And when we click on the assessment here, this is very, very quick and easy to set up. It really, really is. It's not difficult at all. But what you'll see here is, just get that so you can see it in that window. What you can see here is a forum and a vote next to it, and the vote here very, very quickly is asking the students to reflect on their learning objective. The forum here basically is trying to make things a little bit more involved. Is there anything you need to look for? Is there anything that caught you out? Was there anything that really surprised you about the piece of work? And if I take off the contracted view there, you can see here some of their actual comments a little bit more in depth. So let's look at the top one there. Standard form is used for really big or small numbers. It is quite easy to use, but you need to watch that the number is between 1 and 10. I think that's a good comment. Some of the comments are a little bit less incisive, shall we say, but as the year goes on, the students get better at doing this, and it improves their mathematical vocabulary. Also, if you think about it, what happens is they start to comment on each other's comments, so it's good peer and self-assessment, if you like. So that was why that column went in there, was to help with the assessment. And I'm always a bit skeptical about doing things for the sake of it, but it isn't for the sake of it. The students really, really do learn from that, particularly if you keep at it for, say, half a term and they get used to doing it. So obviously now, once they've done that, they can now move up the ladder and go on to the next course and then the next assessment, and that can continue until they've completed all of that learning ladder. Now this is really useful as well for revision purposes, because they can find what they need to find. I'll just show you quickly in the portfolio tool how the marks would look to the teacher. If we go here, we can see here I've got them by name. I could look at the whole group, or I could look at it by name. I'll look at it by name for now, and obviously you can play around with this, and once you actually download the room and put it into your building, get on with that. Right, we can see that Anton here has been in 18 times. He's completed these courses. Let's have a look at the breakdown. Okay, this was one of the online courses, converting to standard form. Okay, 6 passed, 5 failed. Okay, so that course there I need to have a look at and perhaps go through that with him. Standard form or not. Yeah, he's passed all of those. So it gives me a quick breakdown. If I carry on scrolling down here, I can see that the hand-in documents that he's handed in, I've given him his relevant marks for. So areas and perimeters worksheet, linear graphs and substitution worksheet. So he's handed that in. So very, very quickly, I have a summary of what he's done so far. I can also have a look at the whole group overall, and this is very, very useful, tracking and monitoring, etc. Obviously, by the end of the year, you'll have loads of stuff in there, so it's important that you make sure you structure everything tidily. But that's about it. If you've got any questions about this template or anything further you want to ask, then you can email me. The email will be attached to the LGFL website.